Hello everyone and welcome to another MKM draft. And again we have a one rare pack with the rare being quite bad. So it's not going to be that. The first pick um, there are 5 uncommons. There's no like a super high quality common other than maybe the Dog Walker, which is really good if you know you are red white. And it is good in any red or white deck too, but it definitely gets better when you can do the 2 mana version of this card. I think I'll take the case of the Burning Masks. This is a pretty good 2 for 1, because solving this is not that hard. And it's a 3 mana, 3 damage, which is acceptable. It's a hard mana cost, but this is a fairly weak pack. You could take the Radical if you want to draft exactly green. This isn't bad, the outcold is decent, but let's take the case here, and I have now an option to take a shock, and I don't see why not. I do like the No More Lies, and I think the Sample Collector can be quite nice, but this is another quite weak pack. There's also Nervous Gardener as another good green option. The Relieve the Past is just not good, but I took a red card, pick one. I'll take the shock now. And move on. Okay, what's going on? What on earth is going on here? Now this is pack 1. 2 different people took something over a double gang. This is insane if you get to cast it at 8 mana, and you can still cast it at 5 mana to get, a decent effect, but of course the upside is 8 mana, and if you somehow get to 11 mana, that's just bonkers then, but 8 is good enough to create 4 things. I'm taking this, of course. There's no way I'm taking anything else. It doesn't really suit that well my first 2 picks, but this could be like a red-green deck, splashing for blue, because this double red card here, does mean that I'm not gonna splash for this case here. And it's possible I will abandon red. Red isn't actually very open here. Okay. Right. I like the Extract the Confession, but not after taking the double gang and having already 2 red cards here. I don't want to go all the colors. I think I might just try to stick the green. That will work with this thing, because I can get maybe some ramp and stuff. So I will take the Sample Collector over the Riftburst Hellion here. I quite like the Collector. Yeah, let's take it. Okay, Evidence Examiner. Now I might just actually abandon the red at this point, especially given that I don't have a lot of red being passed my way. Yeah, so this is just a sweet way to enhance the kind of just when you get evidence in your graveyard, this is a very good way of getting some use out of them. And note that it does trigger from whenever you collect evidence, not just from its own trigger. For example, if I have a sample collector out, the evidence examiner will also investigate if I collect evidence for the collector. But these black cards here, I'm not quite sure. I mean, this is fine. I guess I could be like black 2 here. But only for a splash, maybe. I want to be blue and green, but this is not really... Okay, I'm taking this, I like this card maybe more than others do, but I will try this. Because, I mean, I would just like to be blue-green, and maybe splash something, but that pack was such a weak one, that I was just taking something. If I have to yet again have to, change the direction of where the draft is going, I think I'll take the Bubble Smuggler. That is a 2-drop I can play in my blue-green deck. Yeah, I'll take it. Can I be blue-green? Can I get some ramping here? Riftburst Hellion versus Airtight Alibi and the Scene of the Crime. I don't like the fact it's an artifact land, because there are some ways in this set to just get rid of artifacts, and if you get stone drained early in the game, that is horrible. I think I'll just take the Riftburst Hellion. I don't need red for that, I can always play it in a green deck. But now I need some ramping. Can I get any ramping? Cryptex. I don't think that counts as ramping, but I'm still taking the 20 gems here. I'm not particularly interested in these cards. The interrogators is like, okay, but okay, let's take 20 gems. And I'm taking the alibi now. Okay, this is again one of those drafts where I don't really get anything that's very open to pass to my direction. I'll take these because I guess I can play that. Behind the mask is... I'm just taking another alibi. I don't like them behind the mask that much. Alright. So there is now a white rat effect as a neighborhood guardian and the novice inspector. So pretty good white cards in the pack. And pretty much nothing for me. Oh boy. So am I going to kind of force the blue-green and take something like a projector inspector here? This pack has so many good white cards and there's not much for me. I mean, I could take the onlooker and really be, black something. Green, black, splashing for blue. Forget about the examiner. Fine. Although there is this card too if I want to go for a black card. I'm still taking the onlooker. It's a good 2-drop. Defensive 2-drop. And... I'm not taking a magnifying glass. I might play one in the deck if I, just to make the double gang easier to get, to cast at the 8 mana. But yeah, concealed weapon. I think I might ignore the red path that I took earlier, but I could just take the cold case cracker in here because I could still actually just be blue-green, and I want that to happen. The presumed dead. It's okay. But I'm taking the cold case cracker. Let's try to get the blue-green still working. Alright, well this pack has a lot of options. I will maybe just take the repulsive mutation, but I could take this and go with the kind of Soul colors or one of the extract a confessions, but I quite like this card. So I'm gonna take this. It's also a card I haven't really played too much. I do have a playset of them, but mostly from late picks from the drafts, I think. Yeah, let's take this. And I think I will be blue-green now. I will cut at least the red. I'm pretty sure I won't be playing red here. And here, there are some decent blue options, like Sprite and the Fairflight. But am I going to be playing the black? I don't think I am, though. I was thinking about the Escape Tunnel, but I'm actually quite sure now I'm not playing black here in this deck. So I have only 10 seconds in here. What does this look like? I think I'm just taking the Crocodile here. I could take the Sprite too, or the Fairflight, but I take the Crocodile here. I just want a creature here right now. What's this? Putrid Warrior. Okay. It's from the special slot. This has the old golden card border. Now, Fairflight versus Eliminate the Impossible. I think I like the Fairflight slightly more, so I'm taking that. I already have a couple of alibis for some kind of a combat tricks. This is more like countering a removal spell while making your creature better. The Technician is playable too, but I'll take that. Okay, Hustle and Bustle. I do like the Bustle, of course. And this pack doesn't have that many options. This is really bad. And I'm not going to splash for red. I can play both halves of this card in my blue-green deck. Reasonable Doubt would be pickable, but I'm taking this now. Any tunnel tipsters? I'd like to have some. There's a cold case cracker. I might need some 2-drops, and there is the automaton, but I think this is such a high quality 4-drop that I'm taking the cracker here now. But now I'm going to focus on cheap cards if I just can get them. Not for my colors, sadly. Am I gonna play Thought of Flare? I mean, not if I'm not splashing, but there's a chance I will still splash for something. I don't think I need the criminologist or the uncommons here. So I'm taking this just in case. And nothing that is cheap. I guess I could play this, but I have enough of these, you know, disguise creatures. I just take a random uncommon here and I hope I will get enough playables. Okay, I'll play the magnifying glass. I do have the double gang here. And I can play the lumbering laundry, you know, that is playable if nothing else. Alright, I will need a bunch of playables for the next, in this last pack, but... And ideally some cheap things. And I'm not sure if I still like the Jaded Analyst, but I guess I could take it. It does block. And I have a you know, decent-ish late game here. It won't be able to attack that often. And I'm not going to splash for double servitors. No. Okay. Out cold isn't bad, but I need actually creatures and something to do on turn 2. So I'm taking the analyst here. I don't like it, but it's something that I can play on turn 2, and that will have to do. Okay, well, there are some good cards for other colors. Bite down on crime. I need to take spells over lands, so I'm not taking the escape tunnel here. Flotsam Jetsam is also castable, you know, both sides in this deck. I don't know if I need the milling that much though. I'm taking the bite down on crime. Some removal here, but I need creatures. Can I get creatures? Well, yes I can, just not 2-drops. I'm still taking the Panther here over the second copy of a Fair Flight. This is one other way to make sure I can get to 8 mana when I have the card in my hand. A lot of these Fair Flights going around. Here I will just take the Inspector just to have a 2-drop. And okay, Tunnel Tipster. I was really looking to get these, and now at least finally I got one. I'm happy with this. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-mana cards. Okay, there's an Archdruid's Charm. Huh. Should I take it? I mean, I'm not splashing for anything. I have some mana fixing. I might actually play... That's a reason to play the Thoroughfare. To get to the triple green. So I'm actually taking this. Because I think it will be a castable card. And when you can cast this, it is a really good one. Yeah, I'm not going to splash the red. I still am not. So Vengeful Creeper is something I like more than the Bubble Smuggler. Even though this can be a 2-drop, but I think I have kind of enough. And you don't really want to play the Bubble Smuggler as a 2-drop, usually. Am I supposed to play another copy of the Thoroughfare? I don't like the Maverick, in this deck at least. So I'm taking another one of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to play 2, but I have a triple green card in the deck, so that's an incentive to do that. Yeah, none of this matters. Oh, I need some spells. I kind of forgot. I don't have enough playables done. Am I gonna take this? No, I'm not. I'm still picking it, but I don't think I can really play it. Am I supposed to splash for black after all? I can take this Presumed Dead and... Yeah, okay, I need to splash something just to have enough playables. Alright, this is 22, so and without any splashes here. Let's see how is this gonna go. Well, I at least can play everything in the deck. Let's put this like into this 5-drop slot because it can be played at 5 and this is wherever. You can even play this card with x equals 0. Because you don't have to put any counters on a creature to counter a spell. If you have enough power for your existing creatures. 13 creatures is not much. I don't really think I want to play the Magnetic Snuffler. This only returns an equipment card. Now this is the other. This has another mode too. Whenever I sacrifice an artifact, basically a clue in this deck, this will grow. But I don't have that many clues. A couple of them can come here. This can, I guess, create me a clues and this thing too, but... And this thing can... I just don't really... I mean, I have no equipment here. If I had, maybe I could play this just for fun. But I don't really think it's gonna be worth playing. But I don't want to play 18 lands and a magnifying glass. Even if I have a double gang. Maybe if you had 2 double gangs for some reason, I could see playing 18 lands, even with a magnifying glass in that case. But I don't think I'm going to do that in this deck. But if I am going to make a splash that makes the mana much worse for the Archdruid's Charm, and I don't have that much fixing, couple of Thorough Flares. I have a Panther once, yeah, one Panther, and I guess I could play the case of the Shattered Pact. I won't be able to solve this though, because I'm not going to have a white permanent. Yeah, my only white permanent here is actually this Auditor, which I'm obviously not going to play. And there's another one here in the Putrid Warrior. Now, there is a Cryptex. There is a Cryptex, but you can sometimes make mana not in the early game, because I don't really have any self-mill. And then you would have to, collect evidence 3 times to... No, not 3, 5 times. Collect evidence 5 times to really draw the cards. It's just not going to happen in any game that's, of expected length. Yeah, this is actually tough, because I think if I had one more blue or black, blue or green, or a colorless card that I wouldn't mind running, I would just say that that's game. Maybe I was supposed to take that rope. What did I pick over it? I don't know anymore. I could even play the Snuffler with the rope, just for funsies. Yeah, a 5 mana 4/4 is not really worth it. It definitely is not. But there's not really much option, unless I want to play a truly... Well, this is not exactly unrevealable, because I can have both Thoroughfares, and then I can actually make the hybrid mana for it. So I guess I could play this as a 3-drop. Is there anything else with Disguise? There is not. Yeah, I could splash these 2 black cards, but I just don't think I want to really make my mana that much worse. Basically, I don't know how much worse that makes my mana, because I would only play 1 swamp in that case. And maybe I wouldn't even play the Servitor. This is actually quite bad at the splash, I think. Would I just splash for a Presumed Dead? It's not so bad. It's actually quite good with the Hellion and the Crocodile, because, this can be face down, and then you use this on them. They will return face up with a, with the status of being suspected, which is not bad at all. So I could see playing this Presumed Dead and 1 swamp in the deck with a double Thoroughfare. It could work. I could even play the case of the Shattered Pact, but then actually I would have to cut something. I mean, the easy decision is just to play the Shady Informant and trade it away. And once in a blue moon, get it with the double Thoroughfare. I don't think there's any other way to gain any color of mana here. No, this only taps for green, this taps for colorless. But, the Disguise creature will grow the tipster. Fine, I will do this. It will be just a 3-drop. And that's the deck. It's not a good one. I needed these colors to be open a little bit more, and there's not quite splash-worthy cards or the means to splash cards. But this is it. It is what it is. Once again, I had one of those drafts where, first I tried to get the red thing going on, of course, thanks to my first picks. I just didn't get any follow-up for red. Then, where did I make my other pick? I mean, when I started picking some other colors, what was my 3rd pick in the draft? It was not a red card. No, the third pick was the double gang, which is obviously gonna be the pick because it's such an insane card. And then I hope that I would get at least some green stuff, but as you can see, I barely have anything green here. Well, there are 15 green cards, but these are not really that amazing cards, all of them at least. So I don't know what went wrong with this draft, but let's hope I can at least win a game with the double gang and some other games with the regular stuff here. This is the deck anyway. Let's add the lands, and no need for any other color of lands. I need a lot of green for the triple green thing. I have 10 blue cards, so let's just say that I will play here. I like the 11 green, 8 blue here. Also, I have the Toberic Panther, which can get me an island if I need. There are no double blue cards in here even. So that's that. I don't think the Hustle and Bustle will be that good, but I can use the Hustle in a cheap way. But I think the Bustle might not be that great because I have only 14 creatures. But it depends on how are the creatures trading on the battlefield and how much removal the opponent has. You don't need like a ton of creatures to make the +2/+2 and trample good, and this of course has the pretty relevant clause. You may turn a creature you control face up, because I have here the Hellion and the Crocodile and even the Laundry if I happen to play this face down to turn face up with mana advantage. And I guess that is another way to get the Shady Informant turned face up, so it's not only having a couple of these. But yes, this is the deck now. Okay, I'm on the draw here. This can actually get you a land. Also, even ramps. I think I'll keep this because if I draw any land, I can cast these things. And I have the charm in here. There's just no real reason to mulligan here. I don't have a lot of 2-drops in this deck, so I can't really mulligan into a hand that has a 2-drop with reliability. And they didn't have a 2-drop either. Okay, but they have that thing which I need to kill. I need to kill with the Archdruid's Charm if I can get there, because of course I don't have the triple green yet. This thing gives a +1/+1 counter to the creature. So I guess I'm choosing this right now. If they kill it, I'd rather them kill this than the Hellion. I do have the Bustle here though, so it can actually... Oh, this has Vigilance too. Alright. So yeah, this is a way to turn this thing face up. But yeah, so this thing does basically a Sphinx Revelation. They need of course a lot of mana for that. Now they have only 4, so they don't actually benefit anything from the ability right now. They can sack the clue to draw 1 card and gain 1 life. But later in the game this can be insane. Now, sadly they do have all the mana. All the mana in there, so I think this is a pretty risky move if I'm gonna go and attack into that thing and then try to save my guy. I mean, they can block and then I use my airtight alibi and that's it then. Game over. Well, it's not game over, but I lose this guy because they might interact with this thing even with ward payment, but I don't think I can just do nothing, and playing this won't be mattering. So I'm gonna do this. I just have to do it, and I assume they have a 2 mana interaction and pay for the ward cost. Or they can have their, that's doesn't need any ward costs. So this is of course now horrible, but thanks to me not drawing any further land here. I already drew the 1 here, so I guess it's fine, but now of course I'm in a bit of a trouble. But it's not game over or anything. They can draw now 2 cards with this, so that's of course very good mythic rare for them, and I'm not in a position to... Yeah, okay. In 5 cards I drew 1 land. That's not good when they have this battlefield presence. I mean, I guess it doesn't even matter really. Just do this, whatever. because they not only have the battlefield presence, but they have the refill with the Alquist Prof. And now I have to take 7 damage. I go to 14. And then even if I draw a forest, because I kind of have to kill this guy before they get to cash in all these clues. I can get, yeah, 2 cards with the Alquist Prof because it has vigilance, it can attack and use the ability. And I play a deck with 17 lands, Topiary Panther, Tunnel Tipster, Magnifying Glass. So that's actually half the cards in the deck are mana basically. And now I have this stuff here. Let's not show them anything else. I will just go to next game, and I don't think there's anything to sideboard here. There won't be any sideboarding really, unless I'm getting desperate and I sideboard something like the Servitor and the Presumed Dead, but not in this matchup. What's going on? I have the Tipster now, but only 1 land. Well, this I don't think I can keep, so let's do this. Now I sadly have to put something away, and I think it's gonna just be the Fair Flight here. I'm not gonna put any lands away with the one way that actually can give me the victory here, the double gang, if I just hit my land drops. I'm not gonna wait for this thing to collect evidence. I can actually make it into a 3-5 here. Well, they have the mana functional, that's good for them. I'm gonna attack. And then if they now have +2/+2, well, that's gonna be very bad, of course. I'm still gonna try this. Now they again started with Alquist Prof, and of course, you know, these mana perfect basic lands on 3 different basic lands on turn 3. So now I'm just gonna have to go for it. If they again have the same card, what can I do with this hand? Just keep taking damage here. Okay, now at least, because this thing, you know, you have to kill this. There's just no way. It's gonna be way too difficult thing to deal with otherwise. Alright, so now I need 2 more lands to get the good version of the double gang. I can already copy 1 thing, but that's of course not going to win the game or anything. I need to copy 2 things, and then of course this works so that you will get 2 copies of them. If you copy 3 things, you will get 3 of them. So you get 1 thing, 4 things, 9 things, 16 things, 25, you know. Of course 25 requires using 17 mana, but anyhow. Well, my guy isn't really doing much here. I'm not drawing cards or anything. Let's trade here. Okay, Bubble Smuggler in the meanwhile. I like that actually. Now I can attack for 3, but this also has reach. I think I still attack for 3. I don't think they're gonna use 3 mana to pump this, because they can. That thing is a detective. So now ideally I draw a land on the next turn, so I can play that land and, you know, have this. Oh, well, that's I don't think double gang is gonna save me unless something very weird happens now. That's a little bit too late. I mean, I can. Fine. Well, they are not going to block with this. This thing doesn't get indestructible. It gets hexproof, but they are not going to block. That's for sure. And I'm not going to flip this. I have to do the mutation here. I mean, if they block, I would be incredibly happy. So, problem is this can get lifelink. Now maybe I'm still, because I can't just keep the counters. Make this a 7/9 and eat the Ezreal. But I guess I can take the damage. Alright, I'm actually doing this. Change of plans. And because if they make this into a lifelinker, they have to at least use one of these, and I can't block the perimeter enforcer. This is a detective, so they can pump it with the source. 2 diligence. Alright, so if I knew they were gonna play something pre-combat, I would have used the repulsive mutation there. Well, it doesn't matter now. I'm taking 12, and they're gonna... I can trade with the enforcer, but it's not gonna help me because I am... Yeah. They're gonna go to 14. That is the actual problem here. Well, I think I will still do this. I mean, it's just so annoying because this is just a temporary pump. It won't have the +2/+2 going forward. This one will. It's a pretty nice deck they have with the Alquist, Proft and Esrim. I wonder what the green splash is for. But they have had functional mana here regardless. I'm gonna get something something here. Trying to... I don't know if this is gonna make sense. I guess I'm gonna save that. I mean, this is 5 damage I can prevent here, but losing this means I can no longer block the Esrim and kill it. That is actually good, but problem here is that it's not enough. I mean, nowhere near enough. I can attack here and they will not block, and I can make it into a 10 power creature. Imagine if they were at 10 here. How great that would be. But I'm gonna do the only thing I think can matter. I'm gonna keep counters in here. And next turn I hope they don't use Airstream to gain life, but of course they will. But if they wouldn't, the Hustle and Bustle might do something, maybe. But they're gonna go to 11 here. They can actually pump this, and if they can give it extra +2, then I will just, of course, lose. Yeah, okay. Just whatever. I'm keeping losing these match ones in these events, in which I go 2-1. It's kinda annoying, but what else? Whatever can I do then try to win the next 2 ones. I can't get it. My mana is really good with even 2 lands that can produce any color. I get these starting hands. But again, if I get 1 land, I can play the charm, which I can even use to get another land. So I'm gonna keep this. And they kept 7. And of course, if I draw 1 land, it doesn't mean I can play the charm. But if it's the island, I don't even need this to fetch a land. Then I have my blue mana. There we go. Now, I don't think there's much to be gained by playing this as a 2-1. I probably have to go for the longer game here, so I'm gonna just leave the option to make it a 6-5 late in the game. Because a 2-1 is quite easy to block. There are even playable 1-3s in this format. So imagine if they play a 1-3 after I have played this, it would be annoying. Okay, connecting the dots. This thing picks up counters. I think I'm still doing this. This thing picks up counters when they attack, and then they can use 2 mana, discard all the cards in their hand and sack these to get all the... I mean, it doesn't get counters, it gets cards. Anyway, this is like a problem if they get to attack many times. I wish my mana worked this way always. Alright, bite down on crime. I don't think they are gonna block. But if they are, I think I will accept it. At least that means they can't get. They can't get any card for this thing. But they might block because 4 mana is the safe thing to do. This could be something like the 1/4 flyer that costs, you know, blue, I mean hybrid blue-black twice. Right, so here I can play the sample collector, which can actually block the bystander, so they need something for it. This I'd rather just play a 5 mana thing, because you don't win any mana by disguising this. You will always have to pay 5 to have the 4/5. So ideally I will just draw a land here. I don't know why this bite down on crime shows the cheap version in your hand. I don't even have the evidence for it. I would understand if it showed it once when the evidence is up, but this is actually a 4 mana card. Okay, so they can kill this and they can do that. Connecting the dots. This actually exiles artifacts and enchantments, so I can even consider doing that if I really need to. Well, I guess I'm gonna counter their next spell. I'm not going to play the Inspector here. It actually is good, but I wanna use the counters here to make this guy get, you know, the 2 extra counters, and then they need to pay 4 mana. Unless they have a cheap... Well, it depends on how much mana they will have. I do hope they are playing some kind of a card here. Ideally a 5 mana. Okay, Polygraph off, I'm not gonna let them have it. It's not the... I mean, this is actually not the most dangerous one, but I will have to use my mana. So here we go. Just let's have a land. I don't get a land, but at least this is a playable thing. I am actually winning the race here currently. I'm not worried about this thing for as long as they have many cards in their hand. Judith. Well, I will deal with Judith here for sure. Exactly when I got the mana for the laundry, but I'm not gonna let them untap with this. So up, this here, this, and they probably have to jump block with the bystander. Wow, what happened? I guess the flyer was too much, but you know, they will get a clue token, but it doesn't matter. They're gonna go to 7, and I will have still a 3/3 flyer and this 4/4 guy. Alright, well, I think that was the first time I see anyone playing Polygraph Orb, including myself. It's just too slow. I think this card could cost 4 mana. I know the collect evidence 3 part of the card can be nasty, but it's not that easy to do it that, you know, multiple times. And later in the game the opponent can have excess lands in their hand to discard, and sometimes might be able to take the life loss a couple of times too. But 5 mana to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life is not great. You get the cards with selection, of course. Look at top 4 and keep 2 of them. Well, my deck barely has any sideboarding unless I want to do like a Shock and the Braggart, or Servitor and the Presumed Dead, but I don't think I want to do that. I mean, can I have a starting hand that has my lands? Oh boy. These are all blue cards. I'm gonna mulligan this now. There's nothing real to play. keep this, and now I have the unfortunate situation of having to lose something, but actually it's easy now. I can play the tipster on turn 2, so the inspector goes away. And turn 3 I might... You know, it's possible to miss a land drop with this thing in hand if you need your other lands for other things. Because tipster on turn 2 means that I want to play a... Oh, come on. I hate when this happens when I am mulligan. I guess it's gonna be the sample collector. I'd rather have the crocodile and the mutation. Well, at least I can now do, you know, I can play the magnifying glass, and it is an artifact. And you can also tap an artifact for this thing. No longer the case, so now I actually need an untapped land to keep doing things. So either I will play the glass. Do I want to play this face down? I think it's worth it. I can do the glass on the next turn. And then I can play the thoroughfare. Well, I can do it in whichever order. It's actually safer to first play the thoroughfare. No, I was wrong. This of course enters tapped. So play this and hope they don't have instant speed artifact removal. I don't think there's no upgrade in this format. So I think it's pretty safe. Because, you know, if they, in response to this trigger, kill my only artifact, and I don't have any untapped lands, I will lose this guy. So they have the connecting the dots, which means I really don't want to let them attack. And I'm not playing the Hellion, because if I play that, I can't play the Thoroughfare. So I'm doing this, this, and this, and I'm gonna keep this at bay. I can use this for red mana, so it's possible if I draw like a land on the next turn that I will just not even disguise this thing. But I think I do want to leave mana up for the mutation, so I'm not going to turn this guy face up on my next turn, even though I do have the mana for that. Well, that took a long time to think about that. I think that was such an obvious move, because once you have this number of mana, the face down creatures start getting a little risky to have the opponent, to let the opponent have them. Now here I'll just do this, and I can at least counter a spell that unless its controller pays mana equal to the greatest power. So if they leave 1 or 0 lands untapped, I can counter the spell with the mutation. I won't get any counters, but it's, you know, +1/+1 counters on my creature, but it will still be a good tempo play if they have something expensive now. Okay, that's, I guess, fine. Lumbering Laundry. Well, I think I'll just play my 4/5. I don't know what they are thinking about. I mean, why didn't they play anything? Maybe they have an instant. I'm gonna attack for 2. I could still play the Informant actually, and have the mutation up. Is that something I wanna do? I know I can do it also with this, but it's just a waste of 3 mana, because I can use it 5 mana straight up. Okay, I actually like the idea of leaving this mutation up. Alright, they actually had no spells to cast. And they did have all the colors thanks to the Thoroughfare. I guess I'm gonna get the counterspell working now. Because they must have a 5 mana spell. That has to follow. I'm not even going to care about that. I'm actually not countering that particular card. Because I want to counter the next thing they're gonna play. Okay, Evidence Examiner. That's actually pretty sweet. I can do this and have still the mutation with x equals 1 here. I get to investigate here. And this is at the beginning of combat, so I should be playing this right now. Yeah, I could of course play this face down, but I'd rather keep the mana up for a counterspell or just to crack the clue. Massacre Girl. I actually can get rid of that. And I need to. Because I will have a 3 power creature here. And the one that's gonna pick up the counter is this one, the one with ward of course. They could have the thing that kills the uncounterable black spell that kills a ward creature, but it actually doesn't matter, even if they kill this in response. This still targets the spell too, so I will have a creature with power 2 or less, 2, on the battlefield, and then at that point they will have no mana to pay the tax. So I'm good here regardless. Fair flight even. Okay, well, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to... I'm going to get the clue. I can't draw the 5th land for this to be turned face up, but it barely matters because of course the opponent is losing here. I'm wondering if I'm even supposed to play this, and I would be of course playing this face down because that would allow me to leave mana up for this, but there's a chance they have actual Wrath in their deck, which means I'm gonna crack one of the clues now, see if I draw a land, and then okay, I didn't, so I'm gonna now pass with Fair Flight up. Just in case they have a spot removal. Okay, they have a Drag the Canal. That's a good one. They gain 2 life too. Of course the hustle, the bustle here is gonna be great. It can also turn this guy face up. Either of these, but I'd rather turn up the 6/7. Although turning this face up wouldn't be the worst either, because I don't have the mana to do it. Deadly Complication on there. I think I want to try to save it at least. Okay, they can kill it, but that's all their mana. Both of us lost 2 cards, and if I can draw a land that's untapped, I think I'll just win. Well, that did not happen. But with the airtight alibi I can still do the attack, and if they block my 2/2 I can save it. And maybe I will draw the card. It's not like I'm gonna use the hustle there, so let's do this. Okay, I don't need the land because I'm having this situation in the game, but it's pretty funny that I'm at 17 cards deep and I'm still at 4 lands only. At least I do have the magnifying glass. Alright, they have to pay 5 for that. We can do the Bubble Smuggler face down, and then I can hustle bustle. I can just play this as a 4/5. It's pretty evident now that they did not have any rat because they have used spot removal on my guys. And I will just play the laundry, just like this. I know I could have played the 5-5-2, but I mean, is there a world where I want to lose life? Where I want to use this? If let's say they actually have a rat, maybe I want to play this face down to kill the orb or the connecting the dots. Demand answers by sacking the clue. So the card in their hand was something they wanted to keep there. I can see what that is if I want to. I don't know if it's gonna be that relevant. They have only 2 mana to turn it face up. And of course, if I finally would draw my land here. What's this on the bottom of the deck? It's this Inspector's symbol. Alright. Well, if they have a rat, they have a rat, but otherwise they are gonna lose. Because this guy... I mean, if they have a counter... Did I say rat? I don't even know what I said, but... If they have a counter spell, they still are in the game. Barely, of course. Because they can jump block this and go to 1, but now this would be a... With the 1 counter, this would be a 5-3 plus the well, I mean that's just overrun. Well, I have both my colors. My first play is a 6-drop. If this was a double gang, maybe I would keep this just for funs. But now I would have to kinda hope to get my spells. I can cast everything. But this is a 6-lander. I'm gonna mulligan. And this is the punishment. I'd rather keep that hand than go to 5, which I have to do with this, of course. That's why I didn't immediately ship it, because I was considering what can happen badly if I go to 5. But that hand is so bad if I draw like 50% of lands and 50% of spells, which is still possible. But this is just, I mean, unless I draw a land immediately, I can fetch I can fetch an island with this thing, and then I can do this, and I can, you know, eat this to get a clue token. I can maybe get, I will with another land pay these. I'm nowhere close enough with the charm casting. The Fairflight would have to go away here. I think too many things have to go right, especially me just drawing immediately a land. So let's go to 5. I would have kept the first hand, because this is basically the first hand now. I don't think I even need the smuggler here. I mean, I'm not gonna play a 2 mana 2-1 here. My starting hands have been very, very problematic in most of the games. And this deck doesn't even have like... I mean, it's just 2 colors and with 2 mana fixing lands even, and the Panther. And I have an excess of forest, so the Panther should be easier to... Okay, what have I talked about mulliganing and then getting these effects, especially when I mulligan to 5 on the play? And these exiles, I don't get to do the evidence thing with this. I don't need the removal here. I don't think there's really a way to win this. I'm gonna play this rather than play the Toro Flare. Oh, by the way, opponent has what, 40 something cards in their deck. Well, it's not gonna help me at all. I am down 3 cards here, and they are on the draw, so they kind of have the extra card before I have. Yep. Okay, with the land, I was thinking that if I don't draw land, I will just fetch a land with this thing, and then I get a clue by eating the evidence. But I'm actually having 5 mana here, so I'm very close to getting to cast this thing. This thing has, they did, suspect it, so I can actually do this. They can't block, and yeah. It might be that I won't be getting the double gang at all here. Oh yeah, this is quite something, isn't it? I just need to demonic tutor the best draws every turn now. Again, I'm 1 land away from getting a 6/5, so I think I'm supposed to do it, because it wouldn't be a bad idea to get the land maybe for the future doppelganger and then get the evidence. I mean, I can eat this from my graveyard to get a clue, but with 1 more land. I hope they don't have another agent, of course. I can play the Panther, which they can of course easily remove with these colors, but maybe they don't have removal. I of course need to get lucky here, so I'm not gonna play around things. They do have this annoying ability though, they can eat the Panther, but well, let's see. Let's see what I draw. That has haste, why didn't you play it before combat? Well, here we go, empty hand, and as long as they understand that with the juggler they can actually kill the Panther, I'm in trouble. But I mean, this will go to, at least the Panther won't go to exile in that case. I can eat the evidence with the Examiner. Oh. So they have the Death Touch trick, that has to be it. Right. Well, I'm gonna sack this for the Death Touch trick. Okay. Now I'm no longer... Yeah, Case of the Gorgon's Kiss. Now that's another one, but it won't be solved. 1 more... It will be solved if they get to put 1 more creature card in the graveyard. And they actually... They had it. They had it if they sacked the Juggler there. They would have solved the thing. Alright. Well, I'm happy they did not. Now I'm going to attack with the Panther. And I wonder if I'm supposed to have the laundry. I wish I had an such alibi here. They are thinking about the juggler. They were definitely supposed to do it on their turn. They would have this Gorgon in that case. Okay, so I could play this as a 4/5, but maybe I want to make this, have the counter. So I'm gonna do this, and I'll let them attack with the Krenko. How am I still in this game? No idea. I mean, they still have 3 cards in their hand, so I'm definitely not a favorite to win here. But maybe I can turn up the 4/5 in here. Or I can just do that. Although playing this face down would mean that this gets another counter, but I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do at this point now. It's just so much more mana efficient to play this fella just as a 5/5 right now. So let's do that. I will attack with this guy first though. Okay, they did not play any spells, so they are not gonna hold a murder here. But what is it going to be then? I'm not blocking. They are gonna have a trick here. It could be the +3/+0, for instance. And first strike. I can take 3 here, hopefully. Okay, Toxin Analyze. They get 3 life. Sure. Okay, they can kill that guy. That's the 4/5. That's acceptable. They could have drawn the card first, actually. I'm just gonna have the race here on. And I can do a nice, neat trick, because you don't have to tap the clue to draw a card. So I can do this first. Tap the clue for this ability. And then I can still draw the card immediately. In case it's something I can play. Oh, I forgot this actually works for both. Wow. I mean, this is whenever an artifact is put in the graveyard. Well, I'm happy they didn't have a red mana up. I didn't realize it's I mean, it cares about my artifacts too. It would have been quite annoying if they got a free 1/1 there. Okay, the opponent is at 1 card, but they have a clue token, but they still insist on attacking. Is that gonna be... I don't understand why I'm still in this game. Well, these lands definitely won't be helping me. I am going to now leave the tipster to block. And now I do understand that. Yeah, they can get the 1/1 here, and they can get the 1/1 from my clue. I mean, I don't even have a clue now, actually. So let's scratch that. Maybe I wasn't even supposed to attack here. But, oh well. I'll take out a murder now, sure. Well, I kinda... Imagine if I drew a doppelgang there. I had the 8 mana without this land. I guess there's like a... If they have a land in hand, I can still have 1 more draw step. And if that is a doppelgang... maybe... Well, it's not. I mean, they have something... Yet another Toxin Analyze. It's not bad to get the clues with the Krenko, but... And I can still draw a doppelgang. I don't think that doppelgang does much, though. I didn't even draw it. Okay. Well, that was a mulligan to 5, and I had to exile my card from my hand. Thanks to these, I still, got here, which is very weird. Alright, I'm not gonna mulligan anything when I have these agents there. I'll just keep a 7 card hand, pretty surely. Alright, let's have the same deck. Okay, can I have a starting hand that is good? Well, it's better than I have had, but it's still not that good. Well, that's a good start they're having with their 46 card deck or something. Can't block either of those, I'm going to 16. Yeah, well, of course I missed my 2-drop and they had 1-drop, 2-drop, so that does help. Even though I was on the play. If I was on the draw with this curve, these curves, I would be in trouble here. So did they have something for 1 mana? I wonder what that is. Okay. I'm going to, of course, play the Creeper as a 5/5 here. and I'm gonna leave this to block so I can have a double block at least on the Go Hound. And if I so did choose to the juggler, but I kinda like the 6/7 here I can have coming up unless I have to exiliate another land and I don't draw it anymore. Well, that's gonna mean the death touch trick, right? So I'm not going to block the juggler, that would kill both of my guys, but this has only one power. Hopefully they don't get additional power. I guess they could have the +2/+0 and then when it dies they get a 2/2 detective, but I mean they would have to have that and the death touch trick to make this a double kill. So I hope they choose the first one and not the second one. It's kind of 50-50 there. Okay, that is the Felonious Rage, and they didn't have the death touch trick, and they chose the the optimal card for me. I don't see anything to destroy, so I'm going to just play the creeper here. Be mana efficient. I think I will still. Well, I'm definitely not attacking into the 2/2. They probably wouldn't block because I have 5 mana, but this actually requires 6 mana to turn face up. I don't want to risk them actually blocking and me being annoyed thanks to that. So murder here, okay. But I can block the 1/1. I'm gonna go down to... Okay, why would they attack even with it, but... Does it even matter? I'm going to do this and play this and play this. I can still block the 2/2. But this thing having, you know, the suspected status from turn 2 is... This has done a lot of damage that a non-menace creature would not have been able to do. If they still can kill my blockers here and I go to 5 here, I think I will be in big trouble here. Yeah. This is actually insane. So again, if I flip this face up, I can't do anything else. So I think I'm going to play the... Well, let's see what I'm going to draw here. Okay, I got the removal spell. That's gonna have to deal with this guy now, and it does have to. So let's play this thing here, and this is gonna be collecting evidence. This deals with this, and I will need to collect evidence 6, which is 2 of these. Well, there are 5, 5, and 4. Well, I need to leave a 5 in there, so. And I can attack for 4, and I have now again a blocker for the 2/2. I hope they don't have yet another removal spell. Oh man, this is ridiculous. Now this is good though. Sadly, I don't have mana for the face down card, and this is gonna give me 2 life. But if I want to block the Krenko, well, I can do a couple of things. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. Can I collect 6 so that I can leave 3 for the other? No, I can't, sadly. So this other guy, collector, won't be able to do its thing. So I'm going to keep the counter on the collector then. And I'm not gonna attack with my guys. I need to get this 6/7 turned face up. But this does seem like the opponent had exactly what they needed here, and they are, of course, thanks to being stuck at 3 lands for so long, they are going to have all these spells in here. Alright, so now it is time to attack. If they are going to block, This will be a 6-7. I don't like the fact that they are gonna most likely get here a clue now, because they will block with the bystander, and that clue will help with the Krenko to give them a you know, a 1-1. So this is very, very difficult right now, because they can use the Krenko to sack the clue. Okay, I think that was a mistake, because they could just use the Krenko's ability, and then, you know, they would have gotten a 2-2 token and make the Krenko into a 4-4. But they chose to draw the card. I might still lose here, of course, but because I'm at 4 only. Oh, come on. Well, sometimes you have to have these kind of events. It's not like my deck was amazing, but that was a pretty ridiculous way to lose here. Caught red-handed. 5 mana threaten effect. Sure. I didn't even win a game here. Of course, the first game I mulliganed to 5 and all that, but it was now time to get a 1-2. It was a combination of not really finding the lane in the draft. I again don't know what was I supposed to do there, other than, you know, maybe just play straight up 3 colors, which I really hate doing. I had the black idea for a while, and then I went back to blue-green, and I barely got playables for that, and I have to play some questionable cards, such as the magnifying glass, but of course the main reason for this thing is the double gang, which I of course never got to cast. I had the opportunity to cast it for X=1, but I wasn't really able to get to 8 mana here. Yeah. So draft didn't go that well, and I had some maybe bad starting hands too in the games, and well, there's no need to have any excuses. Sometimes you just lose, but I would say that this deck could have had at least better games if I could keep more 7 card hands, or less risky 7 card hands. But even with this mana base, you may fail to get your colors, because this was 17 lands, this was 11-8 mana base, and still I had difficulties getting there. But you saw it, I don't need to have to explain it many times. Of course, it's always a little annoying to get only 1 win, but you have to kind of take those losses when they come, because it's impossible to always get 2 or 3 wins. So let's hope I have a little bit better deck and better luck in the next event. I will see you there. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.